Yes, folks, Muslim women have called on our security forces to gather intelligence on white supremacy and the alt-right. And of course, general conservatives will get caught up in that as well. Yes, March 15 is just days away now, so we can expect more propaganda like this coming out over the next week or so. Yes, some in the media are even calling March 15 a Remembrance Day, giving it the same status as Anzac Day. And I've even heard the media call it a celebration of some sort. Now, why would anyone want to celebrate Brenton Tarrant? By doing what he did, he emboldened far-left radicals like Jacinda Ardern. He gave her a platform to demonise conservatives and push her global multicultural agenda. But first, I want to go to France for a moment to see what's going on there. And hat tip to David Bradley for this one.
To France now, a schoolgirl's attack on Islam has divided France. There are thousands in the country who are condemning her to death.
No hate there.
And then there are others who say that freedom of expression, even blasphemy, cannot be compromised. 5 years after the Charlie Hebdo shooting, the blasphemy debate is back in France. Here's the story.
Is blasphemy a crime? In Pakistan, you can be sentenced to death for showing irreverence for God. In Iran, Nigeria, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and Somalia too, you can be sent to the gallows. Blasphemy is a crime in 13 European countries, but in France, President Emmanuel Macron said blasphemy is no crime. His country is currently divided on the issue. The debate began with one Instagram live stream.
Le Coran est une religion de haine. Il y a que de la haine là-dedans. L'islam, c'est de la merde.
This is Mila. She is 16 years old. Last month, she went live on Instagram to show off her newly dyed purple hair. A Muslim boy asked her out during the live stream. Mila turned him down, not because of his religion, but because she is gay. The boy commented again, this time calling her a quote-unquote dirty lesbian. The video soon ended, only for a heated debate to begin. Mila posted a follow-up video. She claimed she hates religion, adding the Quran is full of hate. The video was reposted on various social media platforms. Soon, Mila started receiving death and rape threats. She was
I wonder why Jacinda Ardern, the Muslim community and the mainstream media in New Zealand are not condemning this hate.
forced out of her school. The episode diverted France. Everyone was posting their views on social media. Trending on Twitter were two hashtags, Je suis Mila, meaning I am Mila, and Je ne suis pas Mila, meaning I am not Mila. Someone pointed out how freedom of expression is absolute. Another said that Mila may be wrong about Islam, but that does not justify the death threats she is receiving. In a recent TV interview, Mila defended her comments. I have no regrets, she said. Where does the French law stand?
C'est ça, le droit au blasphème.
In France, you have the right of blasphemy. You cannot be threatened with death for insulting a religion. Leave alone, be shot for caricaturing it. Bureau Report, we own. World is one.
A schoolgirl's attack on Islam has divided this country, and France has always sanctified freedom of expression. It outlawed blasphemy in the late 18th century. This was during the time of the French Revolution, but France has repeatedly struggled to assimilate and integrate all these sections of society. It's a secular state with a large Muslim population. At least 8.8% of the French population follows Islam, which is the largest in the Western world.
And that is the essence of the problem, isn't it? The higher the Muslim population is, the more we lose control. And a large portion of New Zealanders don't want to see Europe's problems repeated here. And that is not hate. That is just concern for our country. And now, folks, hat tip to Bacon, Bones and Puha for this one. And I've posted a link to this article in the description below. Call for stronger focus on breaking down sense of isolation. Muslim women leaders have called on the security forces to extend their intelligence gathering of the alt-right and white supremacists, both here and overseas. It was one of a raft of recommendations from the Islamic Women's Council to the Royal Commission into the mosque attacks. They said in their submission shared exclusively with Radio New Zealand's Insight program, there was also a need for a robust whole-of-government approach to preventing extremism focused on strengthening connections within vulnerable groups. The Islamic Women's Council has also called for the urgent introduction of a safe system to report hate speech and crime, and for that system to be linked to the security agency's databases. Now, from that, it is quite clear to me they want to silence free speech and allow Europe's problems to come here. They also want that system to be connected to the gun license applications and renewals. If someone has engaged in serious hate speech or crimes, they should not be eligible for gun ownership and all licenses should be for 2 years rather than the current 10. They don't ask for much, do they? Anyway, I'll just click on this link. Now, folks, I've posted a link to this page as well. Ignored by the state, how Muslim women tried to warn of impending danger. The Islamic Women's Council believes it's likely the Christchurch mosque attacks would never have happened if the public service, including police and security agents, had not ignored their repeated warnings. Now, folks, if you come to this page, you might want to click on this link here. There are some interesting bits in there as well. Anyway, right now we'll go to this video here, but I'll go to YouTube for that. Now, the first thing you'll notice in this video is this. There are no men in it. They put women out there to give this community an innocent image. But in reality, they are not innocent because they are no different than the Muslims in Europe who also refuse to assimilate.
The level of hate just keeps ramping up and up. Unless we do things differently, nothing will change.
Well, a good place to start would be to assimilate into our culture, not vice versa.
It shouldn't have had to come to this.
I have a belief that there's potential to have prevented the attacks. I don't want this to happen to any other community.
It's just a matter of justice, and it's a matter of change. when they had all the information that they were given, and we've been going through all this material, and we know it wasn't even just our organisation that was speaking to them, and to ignore it and not do anything. We can't continue to work like that as a country. It's not acceptable, and we can't have this happen again. Not to our community, not to the Jewish community, to the rainbow community.
What
I don't believe a word she just said then.
wasn't just at the front desk level. It was all the way up to the highest person in the public service and up to our ministers that we sought and had asked for help.
Help with what?
Help with the growing Islamophobia.
Now I wonder who that is. Now I wonder who that is caused by. Just possibly, it's a reaction to what you're doing or not doing yourselves.
Help with the impact and the perception of Muslims in this country.
We knew that if we went public and said the public service is not responding to us and politicians are not responding to us, all we would have got is who you think you are and go back to your own country and why should you be treated differently.
And why should you be treated differently?
You know, we just would have been so unsafe.
I'm angry and guilty. On the day of the attacks, you know, what was the following day that I had to face my friend who lost her son. And I didn't get heard. And this was someone that's as close to me as my sisters, and her children are important to me.
I feel a great responsibility to be here, you know, especially for my loss and the loss of the community, the 51 lives, you know, and I feel we need to have justice, you know, so I feel it's really very important to come and participate because I feel the responsibility towards the whole community at large, Muslims and non-Muslims.
The people that have power currently have the ability to keep power, and it's very, very difficult to dislodge that, and they find ways around being accountable or having to change. A lot of it will depend on New Zealand, the New Zealand public, and how much they are willing to stand beside us and behind us and to push with us for that change. It really will. And after the attacks, that was my challenge to New Zealand. So it's all very well to come and lay flowers at the mosque and have a cry and a hug. But what are you going to do? What are you actually going to do to counter fascism in this country and to counter white supremacy?
Wow, no self-reflection whatsoever. That entire video was all about blame. Yes, they can blame Brent and Tarrant for sure, but not our entire culture. It doesn't work that way. When I was a kid, we were raised with an understanding of the proverb, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Now maybe there's a lesson in there somewhere for immigrants and our new woke folk.